Hi, and welcome back to King Poe Myers. I'm Ariadna,
And I'm Dylan.
and today we're super duper excited because we're bringing back our childhood, of course, from the beloved 90s, of course, in the most spooktacular kind of way. We are talking today about Hocus Pocus versus,
Halloweentown.
and we are very, very excited.
I'm very happy we're doing this episode. I mean, obviously, I have a great love of horror and of Halloween and of all that is spooky and that is orange and black. But I do like having a softer side, and this is without question very, very soft. Both are produced by Disney. One was a Disney Channel movie, the other was an actual feature length film. But it's nice to have a Halloween themed movie where the whole family can enjoy and not kids going in the other room.
I agree with that statement, of course. I mean, I'm not big into horror, actually, better said, but I do like. I think most of my Halloween treats when it comes to movies are Hocus Pocus, A Night Before Christmas, and well, I don't think Monsters and Monsters Inc. Sorry, Monsters Inc. and Monsters University are a
They're not.
particular Halloween movie. They're really, really not.
They're not at all.
Um, but yeah, those kind of movies do it for me, and so extremely. I think this is one of the episodes I'm most excited about, but of course, because the rest is not really. I'm new to the whole horror scene, so for this one, it's kind of like something I know and something I love, something I live and breathe.
Exactly.
I do. So, let's start off with a brief summary of both movies.
Well, before we get into summaries, I think we should let the public know where we stand. I mean, this is a versus video, and clearly we are on opposing sides. Because while I think each of us respect both movies, each of us are clearly backing one, and that person is going to be giving more of the details, storyline, insight into that movie, and
Exactly.
be its defense attorney at points because I'm going to be defending my movie to the T.
And I'll be defending mine to the T. So mine, if you haven't guessed at this point already, it's definitely 110%, million percent better said, Hocus Pocus.
Boo.
Oh, come on.
And of course, I will be showing love and support for the great Halloweentown.
Boo. See, no, I can't do it. But for sure, though, I mean, something we didn't really talk about before recording was the first time we ever talked about these movies with each other. This must be years ago, which seemed like lightning years ago, basically. And I'm pretty sure the moment that we said Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town, we were already very much divided.
Yes, still are.
We still are. We respect it, though.
Can't.
So,
Yeah, we can't agree on this at all. Which is
no.
which is fine. I mean, it's a healthy debate.
Can we agree on a lot of things? I don't think so. We
But
agree on the
this,
main things.
but this, absolutely not. I mean, this is night and day right here.
All right. So, probably for the same reason, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, summary of Halloween Town.
Halloweentown, as I said, it was originally aired on the Disney Channel.
Exactly.
It was no, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I think I saw it maybe 2 or 3 years after it came out. It is about a three kids living in a regular neighborhood, and their crazy kooky grandma comes for a visit. And they all love their grandma. Their mother, of course, is very strict, and we cannot celebrate Halloween. It's all foolishness. And of course, the oldest, the main character, Marnie, is very much into. I was about to say the occult. That's no, not the occult. But she likes spooky things and wants to be a kid but can't be a kid. Classic tropes, obviously. They follow their grandmother to the bus stop and realize that's not a normal bus. They hop on board without their grandma knowing, and then they're off to this magical world of Halloweentown. And that is really their adventure. Of course, they come across a great evil in Halloweentown, and it's really left up to the kids to save Halloweentown while their grandmother is unable to help them, and their mother's unable to help them. It's just a great, fun adventure. I will say, after, and I see it more and more every year. This movie, it's cheesy, and it's got its corny moments, and there's points where I gotta pick up my phone, and I'm like, oh, I love you, but this is really just 90s cringe. Like, Marnie is, like, some of her lines are just like, I can't handle it at points. And we won't go into too many spoilers, because I do want people to check out these movies, especially if you have kids, or especially if you just love Halloween. Check out these films. They have this, the face-off with Calabar, the great evil, and I love Calabar. And they're all, she's like, we're gonna kick your butt, and we're Cronwells, and just this bratty little, like, dude, just like turn her into a goat or something. Like, I'm getting so annoyed with this child. But even with all that cheese, and even though, it's deemed towards that younger audience, it's still very nostalgic for me. I still love going on this journey every single Halloween. It's a very, very special movie for me. And despite a few 90s corny moments, it still holds up for me. It's still a great film.
Okay. Oh, goodness. So for me in Hocus Pocus, it's set in Salem, and it starts in 1793 really quickly, where we see the three witches the Sanderson sisters trying to lure children so they have a potion to make them younger, basically. They take a little girl called Emily, her brother spots them, follows them, tries to stop them by all means. They turn him into a cat. They hang the witches. Emily is gone, sadly. Emily already passed away in this point, already. And then moving forward 300 years, basically, we're back in modern day Salem, where we see Max, who is a kid from LA, and he moves to Salem, doesn't like it, brand new. Right on Halloween, he gets told the story I just told, and he's like, oh, it's like silly superstition, basically. And kind of long story short, he ends up, trick-or-treating, has a younger sister called Danny. He ends up lighting I don't even know where to go from this point, right?
Need help?
Yes, please.
Essentially, there is a prophecy is the right word, but he's a virgin, and he lights the candle, and on the day, at the exact time, which allows the Sanderson sisters to return
for one night only.
But in order to stay, they need more children, and it's really about the Sanderson sisters trying to accumulate children.
Children, basically. It sounds really more dark than what it is. But yeah.
I mean, we've already talked about having a hanging.
Yeah, exactly.
Of 3 women, and we talk about a virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is 90s. Like, we don't care. We're the 90s.
Exactly. And we just follow them through this great adventure. So the main characters for them would be Allison and Max and his little sister Danny, and of course Binks the cat, which once again, he was the boy. He was the older brother of Emily. Got turned into a cat. He's still with us the whole movie right till the very end. And we got the Sanderson sisters, obviously the witches, Mary, Sarah, and Winnie,
who really do steal the show from the kids. I mean,
oh yeah, it was all about them.
Like, the kids aren't even in the promotional poster, I don't think. It's like the witches are.
Yeah, it's the Sanderson sisters.
It's the Sanderson sisters, and you brats happen to be around.
All right, so to start off, we got plenty. This is a nice long lengthy episode, so get on ready. Have breaks in between, because we're all about the 90s and just having fun. Feel good movies. I feel like we all need. So characters. Do you have favorite character?
Well, I mean, I really do love all the characters from Halloweentown. You have the three kids. You have Marnie. You have the middle brother Dylan. Good name. And you have the cutest little girl that has ever been. You have Sophie. And, those are the three Cronwell kids. The mom is, kind of a stereotypical strict mom. She loves her kids, but doesn't want them, getting, you know, influenced
there you go.
by all that hocus pocus. Oh, see what I did there?
I see what you. Yeah, you
The
took
dad
words
jokes
out
are
of
already coming.
Exactly.
Aggie, the grandma, really is the star of the show. She's just the coolest grandma. Like, anyone who ever wanted a cool grandma, like, that is your cool grandma. Comes into the house, vetoes everything mom says. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, she is a grandma, and she is the coolest thing. And when she sees her kids in Halloweentown, when they just come up to her house, she's like, kids! Not even angry. Like, let's go out and, like,
It's like not even how you got here. It's like, okay, let's just,
well,
make some spice.
I'm trying to fight a dark evil. Maybe you guys can help me. Like, you are the coolest grandma ever. And, of course, you have the main villain, Calabar, who, once again, 90s, but really creepy looking, very dark. I mean, I love Calabar. Just a great villain. I mean, they're all characters I really enjoy. I never got annoyed with anyone, well, except for Marnie. I did get annoyed with Marnie because she's just, Marnie. But she's still a good character. That's the thing. And
I think she just acted like a regular 13-year-old. I feel like it's that.
I don't know. I mean, I taught elementary school in Spain, and I feel like my kids had zippier comebacks than Marnie.
Yes, but it's also for Disney, by the way. Spain is not Disney. Spain is a whole different beast of its own, and we know that.
But
and also, this is the 90s. This is like
late
nothing
90s.
Compared. It doesn't even matter. Like, nothing compared to like the mid 2000s up onward of teenagehood and what kind of teenagers we have. But we're getting sidetracked. If you have teenagers, you understand us, and if you don't, because we have a couple, and we have more than a couple. We have 5 currently, but still. Anyways,
I mean, just it's a whole host of great characters, and randomly, you have this skeleton taxi driver named Benny, who's just hysterical and just has these awful jokes, but is just wicked cool. So when it comes to characters for Halloweentown, I'm giving it a solid A.
I'm giving mine an A+ if we're ranking that way. I mean, come on. I was thinking about favorite characters. It's difficult because I was first thinking about Allison. I really, really do adore Allison and her just character. I'm taking charge basically throughout the whole movie. Of course, I love Banks, quite funny little one, and Billy. When you said about Benny, I thought about Billy, of course, as well. He's quite fun and entertaining. And then of course, you have Angie. I have the Sanderson sisters, and all 3 of them have like their own kind of magic and their own kind of like personality, of course, because they're 3 different people and
very different witches.
Very different, very funny. They all have like really cool epic one-liners or just like skits throughout the whole movie, and a lot of it thankfully was improvised. So that's a lot. This is a lot about the acting as well.
Really?
The actress. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Nice.
We have curiosities coming up. We have plenty of those for both movies, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, it's an A+. I don't think I'm missing any of them. Just, I guess the least, maybe the two people who were the 2 bullies, I guess. But I mean,
oh, they were so annoying.
They were the annoying ones.
They were classic 90s bullies, though.
Yeah, exactly. What you can tell from this movie, I feel like, especially now that everything's so censored, it's like they asked for like cigarettes. Like that would never happen in a Disney movie. You know what I mean?
To all you 90 kids out there, I'm just kind of putting two and two together. They remind me of Bulk and Skull from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't know if you
Oh my
watched that.
god.
But just that's
Barely,
the
but that
stereotypical
was
big,
like
like, I'm gonna beat you up because I'm a bully and my name's Bully. Like, really? That's just, whew, that's convenient. I have to ask you a question though. Who's your favorite Halloweentown character?
oh, Sophie.
Yeah, she is the
Sophie. I
cutest
mean, the
little
grandma's
thing.
amazing. Angie, of course, is amazing because of the actress herself. Like, I just can't fathom.
Aggie.
Aggie, sorry. I don't know what I said. But,
Angie.
Angie.
That was Angie.
Aggie. I just, it's incredible that they got that actress.
Mm.
It's absolutely wonderful.
See, once again, to go talk about, our other podcast episodes. We talked about this in Halloween 3, and then I mentioned it. I forget what other film I had mentioned. You bring in that old school, older actor that brings in that legitimacy to the movie, and that's what you did for Halloween Town.
Hey, we have Bette Midler for Hocus Pocus, to
No,
say the least.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying that, like, Halloween Town would not be what it was
Oh, yeah.
without her. Like, she is the foundation of that movie.
Exactly. What's your favorite Hocus Pocus character?
Um,
Or Cat Binks.
I did like Banks. Once again, I do like Hocus Pocus. It's just not for me on the same level as Halloween Town. But I mean, the Sanderson sisters were always great. Sometimes they did annoy me a bit. I did love Sarah because she's just like this gorgeous witch, and she actually has the creepiest ability. She sings this beautiful song that allows children to like follow her. Like, that's really dark, but it's such a beautiful song, and it's
It's
just.
such a beautiful song. Like, we sing it all the time. We always have it on.
And I've
That's
told
actually leads to our next question.
and I've told you, and I'll tell our listeners, my favorite scene slash shot in Hocus Pocus is in the first like minute and a half, and she's what's the little girl's name?
Emily?
Emily's being abducted, and you get this like landscape shot of like an autumn in Salem, and you see the little girl following like this dancing witch, but it's like kind of off in the corner, and it's a perfect shot. And the minute I saw that, I'm like, all right, whoever that is, and that's Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, actually, we did a poll this week, and she won. As in, like, the question was, which witch of the Sanderson sisters did you like the most? And Sarah, by far, won, even though supposedly Win is the main one. I just feel like Sarah is just... She's cute, she's funny, of course she's gorgeous. But there's something about her, definitely.
She has like that. She's like eerily innocent, but she's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
innocent.
It's
But
that.
she plays that.
That's what she gets you. That leads into like our next very quick, brief moment talking about music, because I don't think Halloween Town has music, but Hocus Pocus has two major songs. Did you like both?
I mean, I will even say like Hocus Pocus. I mean, you can of course do the honors, but has two amazing songs. Halloween Town, just a very basic melody, but it whenever I hear that, it gets me in that Halloween spirit.
You're so sweet. You are so adorable, I swear.
I love Halloween Town.
I can see. All right.
Now tell me of these two great songs.
Oh, for me, I mean, of course, they're freaking amazing. It's a quick kind of anecdote of you hear them all the time, and as soon as you hear I got a spell on you, my mind immediately goes to Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
And we already said with the children's song that Sarah sings, we have it on replay a lot. So that just goes to show you.
Yes.
More curiosities on the I Put a Spell on You song actually coming up next.
Cool.
Message wise of the movie, did you learn anything? Did you see anything? Did you
I mean, Halloween Town, one thing is like it's to teach kids acceptance. I mean, it's all about, all the scary monsters that they know actually live in a different part, like this different universe or whatever, because they're not accepted. And when you go there, the kids are like, "Oh, that's scary." And then the grandma's like, "No, that's just like that's Frankenstein."
That's pretty cute. And I feel like it reflects in other movies as well that they've done, because they did 4 of those.
And of course, you know, you have coming of age, which is really Disney. I mean, everything's coming of age with Disney. But, you know, her not being ready to take on the responsibility of being a witch, or does she have the right to decide she wants to be a witch?
Things like that.
Basic messages, but you don't need a big complex message to have a good movie.
I'm not really sure what to say for Hocus Pocus in the sense of, like, does it have a message apart from fun? Bravery?
I like that first answer. The message of that movie is just pure fun.
And I feel like it's needed. I feel like it's probably why it calls to me the most. Because if you know me, which I know you particularly do, I work a lot. I have schedules. I have a lot of activities going on. And fun. Ever since I've known my dear darling Dylan, he's like, you need to have more fun. I do know how to have fun, but you know what we mean when it's like, go relax, have fun. So I feel like that movie just brings fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing. Which character would you be?
Calabar.
That was quick.
I am still...
Holy moly, that was quick.
I am still waiting, and I check every single year, and if any of our listeners ever find it, I don't care when you listen to this, send us the link. I want that mask. It is such a creepy costume. Like, I would be Calabar every single year. I mean, once again, Disney Channel movie, oh, it's sweet for the kids, and then it's like, oh my god, like, that's actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah, they have a couple of terrifying scenes for, like, a kid, obviously.
But even adults, like those are kind of like those scenes that are put in there to, you know, keep the adults on their toes.
Like the neighbor who screamed.
Yeah, the scene that you're talking about is you meet Aggie's, you know, friend very early on, and she is just a sweet old lady, and you see her later, and they kind of bump into each other, and she like lets out this really weird scream, and the camera kind of goes a little shaky, and like as an audience member, you jump. You're like, what the hell? And I like that, you know, it's not you know, innocent all the time. It does have those moments where it's like, no, you gotta be on your toes, even for a kids movie, and I respect that. Scare children.
Start them young.
Exactly.
Which character would I be? Allison. I would say. I mean, I would keep thinking about her a whole lot lately because once again, I've been like reviewing these and finding information, and the more people I see, more people talk about Allison, the more I'm like, oh, she's like empowerment and just like knew exactly what to do and like went there forward and had the courage to do it all. I'm like, oh, I really, really like that. And if it has to be one of the Sanderson sisters, Sarah, probably. Just kind of like that easygoing, innocent, fun, kind of flirty, kind of like, let's just go for it kind of vibe, and I love that. If you had a chance to ask a character in this movie a question, what would it be?
And no, I'm not going to say Calabar. I would definitely want to talk to Aggie. I'd want to talk to the grandma and just walk around Halloweentown with her and just ask questions about everything.
See, I have your answer for your movie.
Which is what?
Aggie. I would definitely ask Aggie anything and everything when it comes to magic. I would probably be her character in that movie as well. What about Hocus Pocus?
Once again, it's about the knowledge, and I think that would probably be Winifred? Is that the main witch?
Yeah.
Probably just talking to Winifred. Trying to learn from her.
I can see that. I feel like she's the main witch. I think I know she's the oldest, of course, from what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's why she's always quote unquote in charge. I would either ask her the spell book. Well, that's a character, but it's like a thing in the movie. So maybe I would say maybe the spell book as well.
Nice.
Just flip through it. Did anything in the film surprise you?
For Halloweentown, like we said, like the one or two scenes that actually were kind of creepy. Yeah, at one point, Calabar takes out both the grandma and the mom.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
like, oh damn! Like, the kids really.
It's really up to the kids.
That was pretty dark. Probably those two scenes, I would say.
All right. For me, I think seeing it now as an adult, I feel like they throw the word virgin a lot. And I'm like, it's so
amazing.
weird.
It's like, oh my
but
God.
it's fine. I don't mind it. Because
Yeah.
why would I? There should be more of these because it's a normal thing in this world. But I think that surprised me as an adult, basically. The smokes, like I said. Danny teasing her brother, like, oh, so this is Allison? Oh, he likes your jabos. I'm like, do kids really do that? I mean, I'm a younger sister, so I'm sure I embarrassed my brother one way or another. I don't know if to that extent, probably, but
embarrass.
Like, yes. What?
I made it present tense. Like you still
I still embarrass him. No, I maybe do. I don't know. Probably I do to some extent.
Adrian, let us know what you think.
Exactly. So stuff like that I really, really liked. I think that's the most thing that surprised me. Yeah. Which one holds up more?
I mean, I'm going with Halloweentown. Both movies show, like, you watch both of them and you're like, this was made in the 90s. I don't know what it is about Hocus Pocus. I mean, granted, I think a big part of it has to do with the fact that I saw Halloweentown when I was a kid. I saw Hocus Pocus for the first time only a couple years ago. Like, I was never able to watch it for whatever reason. You know, I was watching Halloween and Freddy. So I do have that, obviously, that nostalgic factor. But, there's just something about Hocus Pocus, like I can't stay focused on it. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's like, if they go from place to place too fast, or it's like, oh, now they're in a graveyard. Why are you in a graveyard right now? I don't know. Why are you... Like, even, you've seen this movie a million times, and when we saw it at the drive-in a couple of days ago, we both kind of, like, heard the line at the same time that Billy, the zombie, was actually Winifred's ex who fooled around with Sarah.
Oh yeah, that also surprised me. Yeah.
And we were both like, wait, what? I thought it was like a random zombie. And then you're like, wait, you screwed around with Sarah? Like, wait, whoa, God. Hocus Pocus, jeez.
Oh, I love it so much.
It can't keep my attention, and I don't know why.
Once again, but this is not why you dislike Hocus Pocus. The question was which one holds better. Well, no, at this point, we understand it's Halloweentown.
Because it holds my focus. Hocus Pocus doesn't.
Okay. So, moving onward, we pinpointed a versus right about now with various characters and locations and comic reliefs and things like that. So the first one we have, of course, is Best Witch. And in this particular case, we have Aggie versus the Sanderson Sisters.
Aggie.
Of course, that's. I mean, it's really no brainer at this point, right?
Who do you pick?
That's the thing.
Oh, yes.
We only saw very little of what the Sanderson Sisters could do. However, in both movies, in Taylor, they can do a lot more. Because in the Sanderson Sisters in Hocus Pocus, you have the Book of Spells, whereas Aggie has spells. Makeup spells.
Yeah, but once again, you really don't see a lot of her power as well.
Exactly. So that's why it was complicated. I'm like, do I go directly for Hocus Pocus? Probably. There's 3 of them as well. Granted, with Cromwell's, we did see the power of like every single female witch, basically, because poor Dylan was left by himself.
No.
He came at the end, but like
He's a warlock.
But Aggie did not recognize him at all. She recognized. This is where I get all feisty. She recognizes Marnie and Sophie, but she doesn't recognize Dylan as a warlock when he is closer to the age.
He's a late bloomer.
No, he's closer. Like he should have focused a little bit on Dylan at least.
Or was it that his passion and love for his family and his power came through then because he is a Cronwell? Ha!
Yeah.
Cronwells represent. Getting a Cronwell tattoo.
Of course you are. I can totally see that happening, and I can totally get a Hocus Pocus tattoo. I am totally... We've discussed this before. There's a Hocus Pocus coming up next. So that's the thing when it comes to like who's more powerful, who's got better powers, who can defeat who. I feel like in these two movies particularly, they're really complicated because you're only going out of like what ifs or like what do they have, and you and me don't do what ifs. We need the facts. We need to see. So it's not like when we talk about Sabrina, for example, like you see her powers a lot more, either the 90s version or the Netflix version still. So, comic relief. We chose between Benny, the taxi driver, and Billy, the zombie.
Billy, I found, was just kind of weird and out of place. Like, why is this... Like, you're the most incompetent henchman there's ever been. I really didn't find that funny. Like, once again, Benny at least had, like, some bad jokes. And you could be like, oh, Benny and your bad jokes. So, obviously, I'm going with Benny.
Of course. I can see that as well, going to Benny, because he actually had one-liners. Even though, with Billy... I think he came at the perfect time in the movie. And I liked how right at the end he's like, well, F you. You know, kind of like to Winnie. It's like, whatever you did to me. It's like, no, I'm defending like the kids now and stuff like that. And that was kind of unexpected. So, talking about location now. Halloween versus Salem. Which one do you prefer?
Halloweentown versus Salem?
Yeah.
Halloweentown.
I mean, I think this is kind of a no-brainer.
It's magical.
Because it's magical. I feel like even if you love and adore Hocus Pocus and you want to live in Salem, Massachusetts,
which is beautiful.
You can. It's beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
We recommend it 110%. We love our Salem. Everything about it all year long. Spooky, and you have all the sorts of museums and expos and just tours, and we cannot recommend Salem enough. But when it comes to like choosing between a magical world and like the real world, I would guess most of us would choose the magical world.
Or if you want to be totally fair, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but I believe Halloweentown was shot in a town of St. Helen, Oregon, and they go all out for Halloween. They actually have like that's actually their town square.
Yeah, that was actually one of my curiosities of the day.
Boom. Beat you to it.
But I know more information, I think. I don't know how much
they
information
go all decked out for Halloween as well. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna learn more in a couple minutes, but if you couldn't easily just do St. Helen versus Salem, which we can't really say yet because we haven't been to
St. Helens. Helens, I think it's called. So I don't know if you've been to St. Helens and Salem, or if you've just been to one of them. Please drop your comments down below, because we really don't know St. Helens. We would love to go. It's Oregon, and we always love to Oregon. So sooner rather than later. All right. For the next one is the Hocus Pocus clan, which in this particular case is Max, Allison, and Danny, and the Cromwells, which is Marnie, Dylan, and Sophie. Who's funnier to watch on screen?
You know, I think I'll give it to Hocus Pocus.
Ooh.
I do love the little sister from Hocus Pocus. What's her name?
Danny?
Danny, thank you. They had really good chemistry together. Not that the Cronwell kids didn't, but I mean, not just funnier, but I just enjoyed watching those three on screen more. I mean, I do like the Cronwell kids, and Marnie is still a good hero with all of her flaws. Dylan, you have the snarky middle brother. I mean, the Cromwell kids are held together by Sophie, and just how absolutely adorable she is.
Yeah, she's always my favorite character. I said it before, I know, but it's just the cookie part and like.
And she's incredibly powerful.
Yes,
like,
she is.
Insane. Like they don't like they show you, but it's always Marnie. It's like no.
But it makes sense. It's Marnie's movie.
I get that it's Marnie's movie.
It is Marnie's movie.
But Sophie is clearly gonna be the badass of the clan.
Poor Marnie, dude. I swear. Oh my gosh. As far as who's funnier to watch, obviously I'm gonna say Hocus Pocus because they do keep me entertained. There's a question coming up. We have questions from our audience, from our listeners, from our KPM fam, coming up at the end of the episode, and I'm not trying to give too much away, so let me say that for me, Hocus Pocus, that clan, including Banks, but we decided to do 3 and 3, but we do agree that Banks is part of the clan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They're funny. They just have really good one-liners, and including, I mean, I can't say the Sanderson Sisters right now because that's kind of the next question, really, but just I related more to it. I found it more relatable than, but once again, I feel like one was made for movie theaters, one was made for Disney, so I think that's also like a big thing in between. I think these two movies, if both of them were in theaters, then we would be talking like different calibers, of course.
Or different calibars.
I know, I did that play words. So many dad jokes today. Goodness gracious. All right, so our next character versus is, of course, Calabar versus the Sanderson Sisters. Calabar, leave me alone. I don't like him.
Lord. How do you not like him?
'Cause no. He's not funny. He's just like...
First of all, Calabar is insanely funny. And he is a charmer. And he's a great bear. And he's just trying to bring Halloweentown back
to the darkness.
To greatness. I'm picking Calabar as a character and I'm picking him as a character, overall better character. And I'm taking him as the most powerful of all of them. The Sanderson sisters lose to a cat and a bunch of bratty kids. Calabar loses to the most powerful wizarding family in the known Halloweentown universe.
I'll give you that.
I mean...
Calabar, if they had to fight, Calabar would probably win.
Laughing the whole time. Oh, his maniacal laugh. Oh.
No, thank you. I still love my Sanderson sisters. Alright, so are we ready for some curiosities?
Go for it.
We're going to start with Hocus Pocus. So, I didn't know this one, actually. ABC Family actually blurs out the phone number that Max handed to Allison, simply because back in 1993, obviously when the movie was made, there was a specification that wasn't in place, in the sense of, like, fake numbers now from, I don't know, I didn't look this part up, from 1990-something or 2000s. They all have to range from 0-100 to 0-199.
Mm-hmm.
And her number was an actual number. So she would get, well, not she would get, because it's not her number, but the person who had this number got so many calls that now when you see it on screen on ABC Family and things like that, it gets blurred out.
Interesting.
I did not know that at all. The actor who played Billy Butcherson, actually held real life moths in his mouth. That scene where you had to, like, he unzipped his mouth and moths came out, those were actual moths.
Ew. Nice.
Ew. I thought, like, that is, like, such a badass thing to do for a movie. Like, let's just do this, you know what I mean? The production team had to fashion a dental contraption to keep the moths alive and off the actor's tongue during the filming. And Max's, like, the actor, of course, that was his actual reaction, obviously, because they were like, "Ooh, moths." So, yeah. David, I can't say his last name, Krishner, I want to say. He's the film producer who also did Chucky, by the way.
No fun.
So, fun fact of the day for you there as well. Originally wrote this as a bedtime story for his kids.
Nice.
So they loved it so much, they sent it to the Muppet Magazine, and it was published there before it was turned into a movie.
Wow.
And he talked about his neighbor's cat, who happened to be black as well. And then his creativity went from there, and there you go. It's one of the very few films who was not published, what's it called? Released.
Mm-hmm.
Not during October. It was released in July, 1993.
Why? What amazing, perfect movie could have been released to push back Hocus Pocus, a Halloween movie, to July?
Exactly. First of all, they thought there was going to be a flop, Hocus Pocus. That's why they did July, which totally sucks. And second of all, that was the same year that 2 movies came out that were really good. Nightmare Before Christmas, which is incredible, and Addams Family Values. So imagine having, like, the same month, Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, and Addams Family Values. That's insane. So yeah, it didn't do really well by any means, of course, because it was released in July, and who wants to watch a Halloween movie in July, apparently, especially for the first time. But it's a cult classic now. Definitely. So we talked about Billy Butcherson and having moths in his mouth. I don't know if you remember, but there's a scene where Sarah, who's played by, Sarah Jessica Parker, had a spider, and she was eating that spider. Mm-hmm. That was a real-life spider, and she actually ate that spider.
Wow.
To give it more character to her character, if that makes any sense. To give more, more depth. More depth. Depth. I found this a really fun fact, especially for you in particular, because when it comes to the character Mr. Thackeray Binks, in human form, he's played by Sean Murray. Murray is there at the beginning of the film and at the end, and that's pretty much it. But the voice changes. He does not do the voice. Jason Marsden does the voice. And Dylan's like, who in the world is James Marsden? Why are you telling me this, girl? You recognize him for Full House. You did not watch Full House. You can recognize him from Boy Meets World. You did not watch Boy Meets World. I watched both. But we did just recently watch Step by Step.
Yeah.
Dana's boyfriend. JTT's, my God. Talk about 90s and home improvement. JT's best friend.
Yeah.
Him. He voices Binks.
No way.
Exactly. Wow. He also voices Max in a Goofy movie, which we did watch this year. You watched it for the first time.
Good flick.
So yeah, he's voiced a lot of different things, and he's been in a lot of different things, so he's the voice. Alrighty then. Okay, so there's still a few more things, but we're gonna continue to Halloweentown.
Okay.
Halloweentown's exactly what you said. It is in St. Helens, Oregon, and they hold a month-long festival starting October 1st, which I think is pretty cool. I think Salem, if someone knows anybody from St. Helens, we really want to know. I know Salem. We both know Salem. They do spooky things all year long. So I don't know if St. Helens just does that month or not. But they do, fun events, haunted tours, pumpkin patches, costume contests, photo ops. They have, the giant pumpkin in the square as well. So you can definitely take, pictures there, of course. But another fun fact about the place is that you can technically stay at Aggie's house.
No way.
Because it's actually a bed and breakfast.
Oh, my God.
That's something you didn't know.
Need to go.
All right, so hanging on tight with this one, I think I'm going to drop a bomb at Dylan's favorite movie. Because Halloweentown was not supposed to end that way.
Oh.
It had a darker, deeper ending that never made it to film. Some of the props made it, but not the actual ending. They didn't end up recording it.
What is the true ending?
Marnie was going to go into the middle of the forest to place this talisman instead of the giant pumpkin. Yeah. Right? So there was a section of the forest that she had to walk through, and as she walked through, she got older and older and older. And then that was the dangerous part of having her to go into it to save the town. because so essentially what I read was like the talisman was so far away where she had to place it that the older she would get, obviously she becomes elderly and she basically doesn't make it to do it. So that's why like these forests was like really dark and like no one wanted her to go into these forests, but like for a Disney film they were like, this is too dark basically, because it made her seem that she was just gonna like not gonna make it at all.
That's wonderful.
That was like insane. The crew actually had to make a mold of her head, like the actress's head, to create the maskless of Barney's age transitions. Because the scene was never shot, they gifted the cement mold to the actress as a kind of a keepsake only when the film wrapped. So it's like the mold of your head. It's so weird. I think another cool fact with this movie, we did talk about it really briefly. This is actually the second movie that Disney did after Brink. So they were just brand new. That's why, like, special effects wise, it was just pretty weak. It went to have like a 30 million budget to a 4 million budget.
You can tell.
Which is like nothing. Oh, and then my last fun fact for this movie, Curiosity, is that do you know when she's the hairdresser's getting like all the different things she needs for the spell? She actually had fire shot out. It was real fire that you saw.
Oh, wow.
Those were not special effects because they couldn't afford special effects.
So you give a child a flamethrower.
There you go. That's what you give a child, a 13-year-old. So there you go. So, all that being said...
I bet the kids were lined up. All right, my turn. All right, kids.
I know.
Everyone's going to turn with the flamethrower.
I did bring Home Improvement at 2 seconds, but it was the Hocus Pocus cast, actually. They shot in the Hocus Pocus was shot at the same place where Home Improvement was shot. Oh. So they all used to hang out together.
Oh, wow.
As well.
That's really cool.
That is a cool thing. Okay, so now we finally made it to our very, very special round of questions. We appreciate you so much, KPM fam. We adore talking to you, creating with you, knowing your stories. Oh my gosh, our feed just lights up completely when we hear about like your favorite Halloween treats to like everything else in between, whatever we throw your way. And this week we threw your way whatever you wanted to ask us about this movie. And out of all the movies, goodness, out of all the questions, we selected, I want to say 5. Do we have 5? 4 or 5. So, we're going to start with Jenna and Her Boys, which is a darling. You have to go follow her, without a doubt. And I give her a huge shout out also because she has a kid named Betty. And I'm like, oh my god, Halloweentown, the taxi driver. Alright, so she asked, what's our favorite scene? Quick and easy. What's our favorite scene?
When Calabar reveals himself to Aggie.
Okay. I was like trying to replay that in my mind. And Hocus Pocus?
What I said in the beginning, seeing Sarah taking Emily in the beginning.
Oh goodness, we didn't think about these. Alright, so favorite scene, the cookie scene with Sophie. I did a cookie scene or the scene where she opens the locks for Aggie's house, for her grandma's house, and then I just wished it really hard. And I was like, that's so adorable, and yes, believe, girl, believe, and make that magic happen. Favorite scene in Hocus Pocus? That's so difficult. That is very difficult for me.
I Put a Spell on You.
That plays pretty big. I liked... Okay, I'll try to be fast in these. I feel like you when you're doing like the lightning rounds and you're like, I don't know. The other scene that's really sweet that I always love to watch is where Danny and Max they tease each other to get into a fight, and then like she throws herself into like the haystack full of pumpkins, and they just have like a heart to heart. And then right at the end at some point she also says, I love you, jerk face. And I thought that relationship was really sweet to me. And I just like that a lot. All right, from Gabriela Serrano. Do you think a reboot is a good idea?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god, I was not expecting that answer.
I mean...
For what? You don't like reboots. We don't like reboots. We do not do reboots, do we?
Depends on the reboot.
you want a reboot of Halloweentown with a whole
I
different cast?
if I may speak,
I'm sorry, I'm just shocked.
I,
Gabriella, good question, girl.
I think that, like you said, it was under budget constraints. Hocus Pocus didn't get really the respect it really deserved from the studio. Both of these movies, and I have read. I mean, right now, as we all know, this is a little streaming service called Disney Plus that they're looking for new content, and I did read that they are really going to invest in Halloween stuff. Disney Plus having with both of these as their like these are their properties, they created them with financial backing. I think Hocus Pocus. I mean, Hocus Pocus is getting a sequel though. That's the thing. I would love to see Halloweentown with a budget and something that maybe isn't rushed.
Okay.
Because though I do love it, and I'm not criticizing it, Halloweentown, it's really just the main square. You really don't get to see Halloweentown.
I get what you mean, though. I do.
You can kind of see where things are kind of roped off. I mean, they didn't have a lot to work with. They didn't have a big budget.
Plus, it's the second Disney movie, like Disney Channel.
Disney Plus, big budget. Well, not the biggest budget, but you know what I mean.
Well,
I would love to see Halloweentown in 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Love it. Would love it.
So my follow-up question, even though it would be brief, of course, would you want to hear the same story? Because Marnie, the actor, is not opposed to having another movie again.
I mean, we'll not go into this rant, but to all of our listeners, Halloweentown 2, I think, is a fine sequel. It's not the best, but I will tolerate it. The other ones, first, I'm seldom a person who will stop watching something. I usually can always see it through the end. 3 and 4 were painful for me. But back to what you said, I'm good either way. More than likely, I'd like to see the Cronwell kids again, and
so it's more than a reboot. Then it would be like a sequel. I don't know what it would be, but okay, all right. For me, I don't mind Halloweentown. I give that all for Dylan right now. Am I gonna watch it if it's Dylan? It's my husband. Yes, I'll watch Halloween. If I can watch Halloween, I can definitely watch Halloweentown. For Hocus Pocus, the reboot, no thank you. No thank you. No thank you. The Hocus Pocus 2, I am not reading much about it till something is set in stone. I keep getting asked that a lot, and I'm like...
But it is set in stone.
I need more details.
They're all coming back. They've all confirmed that they're coming back. The contracts have been signed. This was last Halloween where this broke, where they're all coming back. Oh, I'm sorry. The original 3 witches are coming back.
Exactly. So I want to see what happens after that. You know how I am as well. I take forever, and like, I don't like spoilers or anything like that. I am reading right now Hocus Pocus and the all new sequel, and I'm loving it. I just don't do spoilers. So until like there's this thing set in stone even more, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, our next question is from Sam from Sam So Spooky. Being only 5 years apart, how would you compare the special effects of each movie?
Kind of night and day. I mean, Hocus Pocus is really good looking.
It's 5 years younger as well.
I love seeing the witches fly. It's just one of those things where they're clearly they're obviously on cables, whatever, but they look like they're flying. It's such a cool shot. And in Halloweentown, they had a green screen.
Well, of course.
But yeah, Hocus Pocus is a really good looking film.
I agree. I mean, I really appreciated this question, Sam from Sam So Spooky. It's incredible that Hocus Pocus was done before Halloweentown, but as we already said, right now, the budget was completely different. Even though Hocus Pocus didn't have a lot of budget to begin with either. But once again, well, I think it's just really difficult to compare them because of that. One's made for TV, one's made for film, for theater, blah, blah, blah. Another reason why they should remake Halloweentown to give it more of a justice.
To actually see Halloweentown. Like, to actually see a whole town.
So now you're going to make me
like
want to...
pumpkin houses
I can't wait to see Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 again. Well, 2 for the first time. Alright then. And then for the last question, I really appreciate this question as well, because this is when I answer one of our previous ones, which is, it's got sent in by Britt Jasperson, which is Miss Von Frankenstein. She said, I have never heard of Halloweentown until I started building my spooky platform just a couple years ago. So my question is watching Halloweentown worth it as an adult? With no nostalgia to it, is it once again still worth it? Or do people love it mostly because it reminds them of their childhood?
I will not deny my nostalgia for this film. Will not deny it at all. But the fact that I kind of have to watch it every single year because of what it means to me, I think that speaks volumes. You don't have the nostalgia going in, but I still highly recommend watching it.
All right, and I'm definitely on the opposing side of this, because you said, I forgot right now exactly what question it was when we were talking about how for you only watched Hocus Pocus 2 years ago. I'm much like Britt Jasperson from Miss Von Frankenstein. I only watched Halloweentown because of you. I've never heard of its existence. I don't know where I was that year. Gosh knows, probably traveling the world as always. Because that was 98, 99 more or less. I won't say 98 though. But still, if there's no nostalgia to it, it's...
I still watch Hocus Pocus and can enjoy it.
But because we're two different people.
But
for me, I watch it because of you. I think even if I wasn't with you, I don't know if I would watch it.
We need to watch it.
We also need to watch it. Exactly, we do. Mr. Pennywise himself.
But once again, we're not talking about you and me. We're talking about this listener who's asking our advice. And I'm saying,
I would say yes.
Watch it.
No, I would also say go watch it. Go watch it at least once and then take it from there. But yeah, definitely go watch it. It's fun. If you have kids or not, it's just fun. A random movie that you can it's a feel-good movie. I feel like it's also one of those movies that I would watch the first one a bunch of times, but not the rest. But that's a whole different conversation to be had.
No, in 98, I was, 7 years old? If I saw, oh my god.
Yeah,
I would have I would have a Halloweentown, tat on my back. This movie would have had an even bigger impact on me.
Halloweentown.
Yes, when it first came out. I mean, once again, I saw it a couple years later.
Yeah,
when I was a preteen teenager.
Oh, wow. So you were Marnie's age.
Exactly.
So, for me, Hocus Pocus, I can't remember the first time I watched it or how I started watching it, or I don't know. I moved around a lot when I was a kid and a teenager and now. So I don't remember things.
See,
but
even as a teenager, I'm like, God, you're annoying, Marnie. Shut up. You're so annoying.
But, going back to Britt's question, this Von Frankenstein herself, watch it. Watch both, of course. I know you already watched Hocus Pocus. My love for Hocus Pocus runs deep. We have a black cat. We always wanted a black cat. I decided to name him. Well, we both decided that I decided to name him because he names the dog, basically. And I said Banks. It had to be Banks from Hocus Pocus because this movie just brings me all the love and joy and magic.
I'm all about having more black cats. Can our next black cat be Calabar?
Ooh, that's a good one. We did have a black cat named Salem, by the way, if you're all thinking about Salem. We did have one called Salem. Will we name another one called Salem? We don't know that yet. But Calabar seems... Salem too. Saline from Oregon. Anyways. So, thank you very, very much for tuning in for and for sending in all those wonderful, wonderful questions. They really made us think. As you already know us by now, we do a lot of things off the cuff, if not most, to get our first reactions, first response, basically. So thank you for, listening to us to ramble and, like, talk about the best kind of, spooky stuff there is. The cute stuff for me. So, definitely, we would recommend both movies. So, Britt, go ahead, watch Halloweentown. Let us know, Miss Von Frankenstein. Thank you so much, Sam So Spooky. Thank you so much, Gabriela Serrano. And, of course, Jenna and her boys. We also want to give a super, super shout out to Kimmy from Kimmy Blank Hocus Pocus Life and Kimmy Blanks. She's the hugest Hocus Pocus fan that we've known, and she's had theme parties, birthday parties that I want to have birthday parties. Believe me, I don't care if I'm going to be 35 or 45 or 65. I'm definitely having a Hocus Pocus themed birthday party in my life. Yeah, we want to have a shout out to Amanda Shepard, who plays Emily, because she's always giving us a shout out as well. You can still find her online. Kimberly J. Brown, who plays Marnie. She also has Craftly Creative, so she's doing loads of things, of course. And last and not least, Moon Soda. Y'all asked me for the Benny t-shirt. We're getting it soon, and we got it through Moon Soda. So we'll definitely tag all these people down below, of course, because you're all amazing. We love our KPM fam.
That we do. And shout out to my cousin Anna, who, when I was 12 or 13 years old, made me watch Halloweentown with her and created an amazing memory. And thank you, Anna.
That's so sweet. Oh, and Men and Drive-In. That's where we watched Hocus Pocus last week. Men and Drive-In for the win. Definitely. I love Hocus Pocus. I'm wearing the Mickey ears, the Hocus Pocus ears. I have the bracelet. We have a cat named Banks once again. So many Hocus Pocus things to come. So yeah, stay tuned for many, many more. Next week, we keep on coming with 90s nostalgia.
And plenty of Halloweentown stuff to come. This is just Hocus Pocus.
We'll see about that. Sam, actually from Sam So Spooky, from the last thing, she did send me a poll, and it was mainly Hocus Pocus. But I understand why.
Well, that's not surprising.
That's not surprising, but still. Anyways, let us know your thoughts, Hocus Pocus or Halloweentown. Let us know if you're going to watch Halloweentown for the first time. Let us know, please. We love listening and hearing your comments, and it makes our day so much spookier and so much magical. So, talk to y'all really soon, and happy October!
Halloweentown for the win!
Hocus Pocus! And we have to go get Binks now. We miss our Binks. Bye!